Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be working the EDPM 2012 Paper 2 spreadsheet question. It is here before me and we're going to look at it before I start my typing. It says, type the following information in a spreadsheet following all instructions. Use landscape orientation. Create a pie chart to show the commission from commercial sales. Insert the pie chart on the same page as the spreadsheet. Alright, so if they're telling us to insert the pie chart on the same page, it means that our table should not be centered vertically and horizontally on the page as we normally do. And then we should save and print the spreadsheet. So below I have that spreadsheet. Let me just quickly turn it around for us to go through it. Alright, and it is always important that whenever you're given a question, to read through the entire thing before you start your typing. It not only goes for a spreadsheet question, but it goes for all questions in the subject area. You're given time in an exam to go through the paper before you start your typing. Alright, so make sure that you go through everything first, that you can get an idea of what is required before you start your typing. Now, I realize that the heading for this table is a part of the table based on how the grid lines are structured. It says income for the month ending 31st March 2012. Now, the figure, or the date rather, is written 31st March. Now, we can do a table in two styles as was taught. Blocked style or the centered style. Alright? Now the date here is in the blocked style format. And when I look at the heading is centered. Also, another indication of the style that should be used is how the figures are placed. So when I look at my figures, I realize that they have commas in them. And commas are also used for the centered style. So it simply means that this table should be done in the centered style. So we're going to be typing the table as is, but when I am typing my date, I will change that around to March 31st, 2012. Alright? It tells me that the wording, property ref, should be in the vertical direction. It says show all grid lines. Alright, and it says that we should use formulas to enter the commission figures and totals. It says also that the commission is 20%. So 20% of the selling price will be our commission. So we should use a formula to get that answer. We should also find a total for residential, total for commercial properties, and then the total sales and commission figures. Finally, it says that we should highlight the total residential and commercial rows. Nothing much is required for this spreadsheet. Let's get to it. Alright, so here I am in Microsoft Excel. But what I'm going to be doing before I start my typing is that I'm going to split my screen so that I can have Microsoft Excel to one side and the question to the other so that I can properly view what it is that I am doing. To split my screen, I'm going to right click on my taskbar and select show windows side by side. Once I do that, all the windows that I have open will be displayed on the screen, and from there I can fix the two windows that I want and minimize the ones that I do not want. Alright? So show windows side by side, and there you have it. Alright, let me widen my spreadsheet window a bit more and decrease the font for the question. Alright, good. So it starts off by saying income for the month ending. So I'm going to start that in cell A1. Month ending March 31st, 2012. All right, that will have to be merged and centered later on, but I cannot merge and center the row, this row, until I know how many columns I'll be using. So let me put in the heading for my columns. So it says property ref. Selling price and commission. Oh, I wrote selling price in the wrong section. Let me fix that. Selling price and commission 20%. All right. So I now need to widen these columns a bit. All right, I am not going to widen it too much. Once I start inserting the information, I will know how to adjust that. All right, I can also go back to my heading and click that straight across to the column D, that's where commission ends, and then I can merge and center that information. So here's the merge and center icon. I'm going to click on that. And there you have it, be merged and centered. All right, so I'm going to insert the information. Let me go back here. It says residential. And then that word is underlined. All right, so the other information I would have done some of it, so let me insert that from my clipboard. All right, so here is the other information that I inserted from my clipboard, and you know why I've done that, right? So that the video will not be that lengthy, and all my figures. All right, following that, it says I should have something called total residential. All right, note also that information is in both column A and column B, which simply means that that information should be merged. All right, I'm not going to merge and center it. I'm going to merge the cells. All right, because the information is always flushed to the left margin for the first column. All right, so after I have total residential, then I will have the word commercial. And that word must also be underlined. All right, let me widen this column some more. And then following that, the information for that section. And I'm going to insert it. Note, I am looking on the question that the information office building, nursing home, that information should be transposed, right? Which means that the figure, the 750,000, right, should be for the nursing home, and the 860 should be for the office building. All right, so that figure must be transposed. And OF, there's a 3 here, but we're going to cross that out and write a 2. All right, so let me go back to my clipboard for the last portion. All right, so there you have it. So all that information has now been inserted, and then towards the end it says I need total commission, no, commercial. Total commercial, and that should be merged. And finally, total sales and commission. All right, so basically we have what is required for the table. All right, total sales and commission, let me merge that as well. All right, I'm just trying to get everything from the table so I can close out and properly modify my document. All right, so I have everything. It says that I should find the commission figures, I should find the total residential, total commercial, and total sales figures. All right, and I've done all of that. It says also I should highlight the total residential and total commercial rows. All right, let me do that before I forget. See that I'm going to be closing out. So I should highlight that. Go on my highlighter. I don't want a color that is too bright. Let me select that. Or let me go over a bit more because I'm going to be doing my commission column. All right, so I have highlighted that. All right, and it also says use the formulas, show all grid lines. So all grid lines, all right, so I think, and put property ref in the vertical. All right, so let me just open this document. All right, so here we go. So now we have a better visual of what the question requires. All right, so I am going to put property ref in vertical heading. So I'm going to right click, go to format cell, and I'm going to alignment, and this orientation box here, I'm just going to take this, click on this line here and drag it straight up to vertical alignment 90 degrees, and there you have it. I'm going to place it in the center on the page. This information here, I'm going to put it in the center and center it. All right. Okay, so we have almost everything that we need. The next thing that we need to do is to ensure that we insert our commission figure. So commission is basically 20% off the selling, oh, this word is not spelled correctly, the selling price. All right, so here we go. So they asked us for a formula and not a function. So we're just simply going to make up a little mathematical thing to do our calculation. And every formula or function that you use in Spreadsheet should, or Microsoft Excel, should start with an equal sign. All right, so it's equal, and you select the cell that you want. So that cell, and we're going to multiply it by 20%. All right, and press enter. There you have it. So that is my figure. I would like this figure to be dragged down to all the other cells. So I'm going to go to the bottom right of this box. I have, look at my cursor here, it's a white, I call it T, it's a white T. When I put it at the bottom right of the cell, it comes with a black T. I'm going to double click on that, or I can drag it down to use autofill for it to be inserted in all the other cells. All right, so it's there. Let me just drag down, all right, for it to be filtered in the other cells. All right, so here we go. All right, so I'm going to delete these, so it's there. All right, so we need also to find the total residential figure. All right, so this figure here, hold on, my highlight is not in this. This figure here will be an addition of everything up here. So we can use the sum function to do that. All right, so equal sum, open bracket, and we just highlight all that we want. Close our bracket and press enter. All right, and I'm going to do that for the commissions figure as well, so I'm just going to drag across to do what is called autofill. Do the same thing here for commercial, equal sum, open bracket, select my range, close bracket, press enter, and I'm going to drag across. Now, my word commercial here is not spelled correctly. Please ensure that in your exam, right, you always double check your work. You get marked for spelling, all right, and also capitalization, etc. You don't want to lose marks. All right, so all that is intact. All right, what else is missing? My total sales and commission. All right, so as it relates to total sales and commission, we're going to be adding, let me go back up, our selling price. So that will give us total sales. So we're going to be adding total residential and total commercial to get our total sales. And we're going to be adding total residential as it relates to the commission and total commercial as it relates to the commission to get our total commission. So how do we do that? So just going to be using a formula to do that. Equal, and we select the cell. In this case, it is C11 plus, and we select the other total, which is total commercial, C19, and press enter. And that's it. Do the same for this section, or we could drag across. All right. Let me just drag across, and using autofill, and when we do that, right, the formula is copied here. So you realize D11, D19. All right, and this is C11 and C19. All right, so it seems as if we are now complete. Let me just tidy up the table a bit. They didn't tell us the bool. All right, let me not do what they did not say. All right, so let me highlight the table and insert my grid lines. So I'm going to go to my borders, and I'm going to select all borders, and that is there. All right. For residential, let me merge this section here. And merge commercial. I'm just looking at the line. It doesn't look like it flows. Underline. Alright, so that looks like it, guys. Now, the other thing I need to do, if you realize, I don't remember if you remember. Let me see if I can click on it. Alright, so here is the question. The question, the figures have dollar signs on them. Realize now that I do not have any dollar sign as yet. Now the figures have dollar signs. There are two ways of inserting our dollar signs. We can use what is called the accounting style or the currency style. Alright, the accounting style, the dollar signs are flushed to the left of the cell while the figures are to the right. And the currency style, the dollar signs are just in front of the figures. The question didn't tell us which style to use, but I'm just looking at how it is placed here. And I'm looking mobile storage unit. You realize that the dollar sign is beside the figure. And so I'll be using the currency style for this. All right, so let us go. So I'm going to highlight my figures. And I'm going to go to number, select the down arrow here, and I'm going to select currency. All right, now the dollar signs are there, but you realize now I have EC dollars. So if I want to remove the EC, I'm just going to right click and go to format cells, go on number, and symbol that is in front of the number, I can change that. So I'm going to just scroll down to see where I see dollar signs being displayed. I'm seeing countries that are there, right? I see English, Jamaica, all right, and Trinidad, etc. So I'm just going to select Jamaica and press OK. And it says to 2 decimal places, yes. All right, and I'm going to press OK. And you realize now that the EC has been removed and the figures are there, each with their dollar signs. All right, and that's it. The other thing that should be done, and for me, I like to carry over my figures a bit. All right, I do not like when too much space is before the figures, right? They can go over a bit to the center. So I'm just going to highlight those, and I'm going to select. You have increase and decrease indent icon. All right, I selected decrease indent. It would have allowed my figures to be right aligned. I'm just going to select left align rather. I'm just going to select right align. All right, and if you realize it did move over, right, look at the space before and after the longest figure in the cell. You realize it's over a bit. This section can go over some more. All right, so I'm going to press that, and there you have it coming over, right, while still being right aligned. 100,000 tens and ones, dollar sign. Well, not the dollar sign, the decimal points are all equal, right, meaning they are all in line. All right, and I'm going to do the same for here. So you do not just press, let me do that, you do not just press center, because that now is not going to allow your figures to be properly aligned. It's going to be all over the place. And all the decimal points should be in a straight line coming down. All right, look at this versus this. Alright, so you do not normally center your figures like that unless they all have the same amount of digits. So, alright, let me right align that, highlight both sections here, and just use my increase and decrease indent icons, alright, to carry them over a bit. So this is okay. This one maybe can go over a bit more. Alright, and that is it. Finally, they asked us to do a table using the commercial, right? Finding the table total commercial sales. Alright, so it didn't tell us to use the property reference or the description. So we can use either one, or I'm just going to be using the description, seeing that tells us more. So I'm going to highlight description, hold down on my control key, and select total selling price. Alright, and let me double check by going back to that question. Alright, just for verification purposes. It says use formulas to enter the totals, figures. Oh no, it says create a pie chart to show commission from commercial sales. So it's a commission, not the sales figure. Alright, so it is the commission from commercial sales. Alright, and once I have highlighted what I want, I'm just going to go to insert and select the format of the chart that I want, which is a pie chart. And I'm going to select this one. Alright, so this is what I've selected, and the chart should be on the same page. I can just fix that how I want it. Alright, and you can also select different chart layouts if you so desire. Right, you can select ones with headings, and there you have it. Alright, so you can select. It didn't tell us to put any. Well, let us select one that has headings. A title. Alright, so we're going to call this commission from commercial sale. For commercial sale. Alright, so the final thing that I need to do now is just to go on print preview to see how this looks. And then we're finished. Alright, so realize now my information is not in the landscape orientation as the question has said. So let me quickly go back. And as it's always good to look back on your work. Alright, so orientation, landscape. Alright, and also by looking at that, I realize that my table is off the page. But let us go to print preview. Alright, to see how we can tidy it up. Alright, so the table is off the page, so maybe I can put the table, the chart. So I can put the chart below the table here, or by looking, I can allow some of my columns to be smaller. Right, the one here. So let us quickly do that. Alright. And then my table, let me allow this to be a bit smaller. See if that will work. It does. Alright, so let us go again to print preview to see how this looks. Alright, good. So we have our table and our chart being on the same page in the landscape orientation. And that's it for the question. If you like what I did, please give this video a big thumbs up. Please share it with someone who you think may benefit from the content. And if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on your post notifications so you do not miss another upload. Thank you very much for watching as I seek each time to make EDPM simple.